making money is a side effect to loving making content. And when you love making content, you inevitably make great content.
Last week's episode was so juicy, we had to cut it up into 2 parts. So today we're going to dive into how social media expert turned influencer and garnered so many views across the web that she's growing like crazy on Instagram. You don't want to miss this week's episode, so listen closely and welcome Madi Webb.
I'm curious, like when you're making new content, if you're trying to garner views by either leaving out certain information or like trying to, create some type of controversy like in your content by either focusing on planning a part 2 or like filming your fails so then you can post like your success story.
100%. Like this morning I posted a video and the intro was, one of my greatest strengths is knowing when to dim my shine, which is like so trigger, like what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like it's so like dim your shine. Like the whole point of your page is like to empower people. Why are you telling people to dim your shine? And then I go on to explain how to use strategy and your advantage in the work environment and knowing when to allow the people above you to shine and not being an asset, not a threat.
Yes.
And so absolutely, like I use that type of stuff. And then I did a video on how to break up with a friend. And then at the end, I talked about a girl who kind of tried to manipulate me at one point in my life. And I went on at the end to be like, if you want to know how somebody, if you want to know tactics that people use to manipulate you, let me know and I'll put it in another video. Because I like briefly talked about it, and then like I'll leave Easter eggs in order to like, because I'll already have like videos pre-written or whatever ready to go. But 100%, I think like that's honestly like a big part of growing your audience.
That's interesting because I don't think people realize that.
I learned so much from Kokomoko.
Yeah, she's great.
She's so smart, and I love her content. She's great. I was on her podcast.
Yeah, she's so good. I know, we were so excited to chat with her because she really just knows her shit.
She does. She's so smart. I love her.
Okay, so that's a good point for people to hear. So obviously you're making a video, you can either tell all the information in one video or you can kind of leave a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then tell them if you want to hear more, you can come back.
Personally, there's no way I can put all the information in one video. I talk way too damn much. But 100%, I think there's definitely ways to like lead it into the next video. Like when like for me, I have like my whole next 10 videos kind of like I at least outlined and like have ideas for them. And so I'm always figuring out ways, like in the previous video, how do I open end this question so that in the next video really flows.
Yeah.
And I think that is also important, like specifically for the Instagram algorithm, they value content that's around 30 seconds long rather than like 90 seconds long or longer than that. I make a lot of content that hits that 90-second mark. So in order for me to cater to the algorithm and my community who really values those longer videos, then I have to figure out ways to put those like 30-second Easter eggs in there. So then when people click on my page to learn more, they have a 90-second video that like really goes in depth. Not every piece of content is supposed to be viral. A lot of videos are for my community because that is, to me, is even more important than just growing my follower count. It's building that community along the way. It's about long-term sustainable success, not quick cash.
Yeah, I love that. Wow, you have a lot of information with that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
What other stuff would you want to give advice to people that want to grow themselves on social media or want to start putting themselves out there? Like, what advice would you have? Because you've been doing content for a long time, right?
4 years. Yeah. Is that a long time?
I feel like that's long.
Okay, I'll take it.
Especially with that being like your full-time focus.
For sure.
Because a lot of people could be making content but having their full-time job and focusing other places.
100%. I was doing that at one point in time too.
Yeah.
I actually talked about this yesterday because I'm about to hit 300,000 on Instagram, and in November I didn't even have 100,000 followers.
Wow.
And I've been doing this for 4 years, and I just couldn't. I just didn't hit on Instagram. Like I never found my stride. I never figured out like what my thing was, and people were always like, oh, it's the algorithm. And I was like, I don't think so. Because I think that you should be able to create the resource of fame wherever you go. And so for me, what really changed, and this is going to sound so cliche, but how can you be yourself on the internet if you don't know who yourself is? How can you be authentic if you don't even know who you are authentically? So much of my rise to success in terms of social media has been the deconstruction of my insecurities and people pleasing. And like I said, like being okay with being disliked. You can't be on the internet if you're not okay with being disliked.
Going into it, you have to be like, am I going to be okay with this?
Yeah.
Am I okay with negative comments? The more you grow, the more negative comments you're going to get. It's like
100%.
literally like what's just going to, and all the celebrities are cool with it. Like, you know, Kim Kardashian and all these girls are just like, they know that's what it comes with, you know?
Even Kokomoko talks about like being canceled. It actually like makes a lot of people's careers.
Yeah.
Because like that big of publicity like gets you talked about, and then there's always that wave of like coming back.
Yeah.
They're talking about that with Hailey Bailey, and then people are like, I don't know, I think she's done, I think it's over. I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah, it's
seems
crazy
to work out for a lot of people, but no, I think 100% for me it was like getting over the fear of being disliked, and then also figuring out like, what is my passion, what is my purpose, what's my why behind content creation. I came into this in a kind of a weird way, because I was on the business side of influencer marketing, and then I saw a huge opportunity in being an influencer, and it was right when TikTok was coming out, so I was like, I'm going to capitalize on this. I don't want to be making $10 an hour. I want to be making $50K for 50-second video. Yeah. And so I started doing social media immediately with the understanding of how to make money, and it was interesting because like coming from that perspective, my goals were so different. My goals were like, how do I monetize this immediately? But what I didn't understand is that for a long time is that making money is a side effect to loving making content. And when you love making content, you inevitably make great content because it's about passion. And I really, really genuinely didn't have that until this past year. I never had a passion for like creating content because there was no purpose or why for me. And I couldn't figure out how to like get my message across in a way, like put myself on social media. I didn't understand how to do that. And I was hiding behind fashion and beauty and interior design and like all the lifestyle content, which I love to watch. Like I think that content is amazing. But for me personally, it was tapping into my divine purpose, which how I feel right now is that I am meant to empower women. So now waking up every day knowing that's my goal, I am full of excitement and ideas and like drive for doing this. And that's what finally got me to like I am growing so much, and I'm building such an amazing community, and I'm so happy and excited to make videos every day.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And I did not experience that first off. And I think that like a lot of the influencers who like, yeah, I was just making videos and one day it just popped off. And I never understood that.
I know. I always hear that.
I never understood that. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that it's because being famous, making money from content, doing social media, it's all a side effect to loving content creation and loving making videos. Like I never understood the love for like filming yourself and editing until now. Genuinely. And I've been an influencer for 4 years successfully. Making great money. You know? But
that is so true, because I also read something somewhere, they're like, if you want to buy things without looking at the price tag, work without looking at the time.
Damn.
And I'm like,
oh shit.
Yeah, and I was like, that's so true, because once I was in this business, I'm never looking at the clock. Like sometimes I am at my office till like 10 p.m. at night, and my mom's like, are you good? Because she'll come over a lot of the weekdays and make me food. It's so lovely. She's like, are you ever coming home and eating your food? And then I'm like, oh shit, it's late. So yeah. And that's the same thing with content. It's like, how are you going to make money from making content if you're not doing it because you're like so engulfed in it that you forget the time.
100%.
You know?
And I have such like a left side brain. Like I feel like I poured all my passion into the business side of things because I genuinely love that. But in order to like fully round out like my dreams, my goals, and to like be on the path that's going to get me to the vision board, like I have my big vision board and I'm like, what action steps do I need to take today to get me there? In order to do that, I had to access like that love I had for business, like in the creative side of me too. I think a lot of people who are creative minded and business minded like kind of struggle with like the balance of everything. I'm sure you do.
100%, yes.
And I had to like find that in the creative side. And in order to find that, I had to do the whole deconstruction of my people pleasing. And like it's all these like little pieces to this big puzzle.
Yeah.
And there's no rush, really.
Yeah, because I'll notice like I can't work and be creative like on the same day. I have to like switch them. Like my Fridays are my podcast days, but like other days I'm like working all the time. I can't get into like, it's hard for me to like be present when I'm like working. So I have to, and when I podcast, I like want to like, I remind myself to be grounded and be in the moment, because then that's when you can be in flow with people and like have a good conversation. Whereas so when you're working like, and you're in like your right side, you're just like thinking a lot. You're like, okay, I need to do this. Like you're not really present.
That's so interesting. I wonder if that's how I'll end up like dividing my time at some point. Like right now, I'm getting used to my assistant like time blocking all of my day. So then I'm forced to like know when my breaks are, when my filming time are, when my gym time is, when my office time is, and trying to like separate it. But that is so true, because like it takes me a second to like load into creativity mode. Like I am fully like deeply planned out with all my content because I'm very ADHD. So I have written out like the bullet point scripts of like every video that you see of me. Pretty much. I would say 90% of it. But even then, I can't just read it off. Like I need to embody that shit. My energy is read through the screen. Like so you can read that. And there are times where I'll be like saying whatever I wrote and I'm like, what did I even just say? What even was that? I don't even get it. Like, that's so interesting. I wonder if I'll end up doing that, like splitting up my days into different
like
days.
A work day for your right brain, the creative
film
days.
Day.
Yeah, I feel like you will. I've heard it with a lot of creators too, that they've had to split it, and I've noticed it very much because I'm like in such work mode, and then when I go to creative, it's so different. But people don't realize, because people look at content creators and they're like, that's so easy. It is not easy.
I'm sick of saying it.
It's just a different type of work.
I'm like done saying it. I'm like, I'm just gonna live it, because I can't with people, because then people are like, well, it's not easy, but it's definitely not hard. And then I'm like, okay. I have had so many jobs in my lifetime. Like I've been a caterer. I've worked as a waitress. I've worked in like, what is it? Like dress shops, whatever. Yeah. I've done so many harder jobs. I worked on the farm. Like this is the hardest one.
I know.
And that really irritates people, because our whole job is to make it look easy.
Yes,
and so I feel like it really triggers people to hear that. But
yeah, it's like you really are creating your own business. It's like you can only make content forever if you can make it make money. So then you have to learn
100%.
business. You have to learn how to be entertaining. You have to learn you have to learn the algorithm. You have to learn what people like. You have to like cater to so much audience.
Not just the algorithm, all the algorithms.
Yeah, multiple
I had
platforms.
A meeting with Instagram this morning. Yesterday I had a meeting with YouTube, and the day before I had a meeting with Snapchat. I'm like, what?
And they're all different.
They're all completely different. They all want original content.
Exactly.
No, they're like, you can cross promote, but we prefer you to make original content. I'm like, I'm sure you do.
Which is 50 times more work. And now you're coming up with ideas for every platform.
And it's like, also don't spread yourself too thin, and also don't put too much of yourself out on the internet, because people will get annoyed of you and like oversaturated by you. But also remain a little bit mysterious, but also post on 17 different platforms 17 times a day. So good luck, bitch.
Everyone wants your job, so get your shit together.
Yeah, exactly.
So make sure you have it together.
No, but
everyone's coming after your position.
Yep.
It's like that too.
100%. And guess what? There is enough room at the table. Like there truly is, because everybody's different. Like I was on a call with Instagram today, and someone has a full-time business for their tiny wiener dog, and I was like, you know what? There is room for everyone at the table. I don't know. Like it's crazy. And I will say though, after all of that, this is the best job in the entire world.
Yeah.
For me, I would rather do nothing else in ever. I wake up genuinely every single day being like, oh my God, what am I posting today? I was so excited.
Yeah.
It's like I schedule all my content, so I'm like, oh, what did I post today?
Yeah.
Like I love it. I love it so much. And for me, that was the secret to success and growing on the algorithms, because I love it so much.
I love that. So you actually set all your content, even on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere, to just organically or schedule them to go up?
No.
Oh.
No, I do. So on Instagram, I schedule everything out because I realized, because the reason I wasn't doing it before is because it won't cross promo or cross post on Facebook if you schedule it out.
Oh, okay.
But Facebook hates me. Facebook hates me. When I tell you, Facebook wants absolutely nothing. Like, there's not one positive comment on there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to remove myself from this platform, and I'm going to make my life a little easier, and I'm just going to post it on Instagram.
Wow.
It's great. Like, I just, like, my friend who's an interior designer posts on Facebook, and she has the most followers out of any platform on there. They love her. But I make content that is not for the generation of people who do not want to change.
Right now on Facebook, yeah, so on Facebook, because on Instagram now you can connect your Facebook. So you're saying when you would post something, it automatically posted there, but it was not doing you well, so you disconnected it?
I was like, why am I trying to cater to people? Like, who cares about these people? They don't want to grow. They don't want to hear what I have to say. They use me as somebody to make fun of with each other in the comments. Why am I doing that? So anyways, I said, bye-bye Facebook. I'll stick to you, Instagram. I scheduled out like 2 to 3 days in advance, I would say.
So it automatically posts for you like that. Okay.
And I love it because I like to remain consistent. I feel like it builds community better when my followers wake up and they're like, oh, it's almost 9 a.m. Madi Webb's about to post. Like, what is she going to post today? I'm really excited to hear what her thoughts or whatever. Like, I like that.
That's cool.
And then on TikTok, I don't schedule anything out. I feel like TikTok is, I'm actually considering starting a second page because it's just, they don't want me to be empowering on TikTok. They put me in this like very specific niched box that I don't really fit into anymore. Yeah. So like I'll keep my certain content that I know always goes viral on there. But besides that, like I'm ready to be myself, and if I need to make a second page to do that, then I need to. Yeah, because like
when you start making content on TikTok, they put you into a category. I've heard that. Yeah. And then you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, they just want me to be funny and nothing else.
Yeah, and that's what happened to a girl I know. Her and her husband did like comedy videos, and that's how they blew up. And anytime she was trying to transition, her engagement would drop, and then if she did a comedy video, it was up.
But it's not like just dropped. Like they don't give you any. Like you can keep going, and they will not give you anything. It's not like with other pages. It's like and I've evolved on TikTok a lot. Like I've changed my content. I started doing like skits and stuff. So it's definitely changed, but it's still like be funny or else. And I'm like, okay. And like it's just like I want community. Yeah. I don't want to be a viral creator. Like I do.
Yeah. With a community, with your
community. And so I'm really considering starting a second page, but in order to do that, I need to like take some other things off my plate.
Yeah, you do a lot. Okay, so tell everyone how much you post on each platform.
Okay, so I post one reel every single day on Instagram.
Wow.
And then
Jesus, every single day at the same time?
So I used to post more than one a day.
Wow.
And Instagram told me not to. Like on my call with them, they were like, you're basically, yesterday I posted 2. Yeah. Because I had to, but like, they're like, your posts will be competing with each other essentially on the algorithm. So only post 1 a day.
And did they tell you that's a good method, 1 a day?
Yeah. Well, no, they told me 3 a week or like 1 a week.
Oh, wow.
If you need to, like that's, or they, no. Sorry. They said 10 reels a month is the best way for growth.
Oh, okay.
I post 31 videos a month.
Wow.
So at the very least. And then I post 3 carousel photos.
And you've been doing that,
week.
and that's how you've started growing from November to now.
No, I've been doing that for over a year.
Okay. So what do you feel like is the difference? It's you being more authentically you.
And I think that once I started making the content that I'm making now, it just really took a minute to have a catalog, because videos would go viral and do really well, but when you go to my page and there's not a lot of content that's similar to that, you're not going to follow me.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
It took time to like build my catalog, and so that now when people go, they're like video after video, they're like yes, I'ma follow this bitch, she's kind of cool.
That's true.
Like that's where I feel like I'm at right now. So I just had a video go viral yesterday, and if that video would have gone viral, I think 6 months ago, I probably would have gained like maybe 1,000 followers from it. I gained 5,000 followers yesterday.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Like I bet when I click my phone later, it'll be at 300, because I was at 295 yesterday, and this morning I hit 299.
Oh wow, we can celebrate on live.
I know, I'm so excited.
It's so cool.
But like, I think it's genuinely because when people saw that video, looked at my page, saw similar videos, and were like, period. And I think niching down a little bit is good for that specifically.
I know, that's why like for my podcast, I don't have enough time to focus on like making sure the content, like that part of it. I obviously have my team.
Yeah, 100%.
But I do sometimes feel like when you're the one like planning and editing it and like being super involved, it helps you more, because then you're like watching the algorithm, watching what things worked, watching what your fans want. It's really hard. Like, it's the only part about, I know it sounds stupid, it's like, oh, it's a hard thing about having a team.
No,
but when you have you don't see like the little details.
It does not sound stupid, because I was gonna say, so I post 1 reel a day, 2 to 3 photo carousels a week, and then 5 stories a day.
Wow.
And that's just on my Instagram page. And then on my podcast Instagram page, I also post 1 podcast reel a day, and that my team does. But I also like pick which clips I want. I approve every single edit, but then I'll go on the page like every few days and look at the growth and kind of examine. Like, it's different because I'm not trying for that page to be like, it's more community based. It only has like 13,000 followers, which is still really good for only 30 episodes in. Yeah. But my assistant handles that, and it definitely is like a different, like, I have a different attachment to it than I do for my personal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I have a podcast TikTok that we post on every single day that's trash. Like, it's like does nothing. I'm honestly thinking about getting rid of it. And then I have my main TikTok, which I post on every day. I don't always keep the videos on there. I post different videos on TikTok than I do on Instagram.
Jesus,
Because
Maddie.
otherwise, like, why would people follow me on each individual platform? You know, like, I need to diversify. Wow. So I make more like spur of the moment videos, less polished, less pretty, like people like when I'm funny, so I tell stories and that type
TikTok?
of thing.
Okay.
And once I add my second TikTok on there, I want it to be a vlog channel, so I'll post like 3 to 4 times a day.
Wow.
And then I've already started backlogging the content for that, because I want to be 5 days ahead of time before I actually start posting, so I can kind of understand a little bit of their algorithm as I move forward. And then Snapchat, I post 20 to 50 stories a day, and I'm doing that manually right now because I don't understand Snapchat or what they want from me. Even though I have 160,000 subscribers there, I'm still learning like what people like. Do they like my outfits? Do they like my advice? Do they like what are they like? So I want to learn first before I hand that off to anybody.
Yeah, that's smart. And
then I have my discovery show on Snapchat, which is a culmination of like specific themes of all my videos. So it's like it's a show, but it's like my move-in series, my interior, like I'll have like specific shows for that we post 1 to 2 times a week. And then on YouTube, we were posting 4 shorts a day.
Jesus.
On YouTube, we post 4 shorts a day right now, but I actually had a call with them yesterday and they were like, stop that. And so now we're going down to 1 a day.
Wow.
But I have too much content. So now it's like figuring out, and they want me to make specific YouTube content. So I started doing that yesterday.
YouTube's the hardest one, I feel.
And I have 400,000 subscribers on there for what?
Wow.
Just from posting my my other content on there.
Wow.
But now I have to make specific YouTube content.
Wow.
So then I think that's covered all my bases. And then my podcast.
Which, like, that, there's like a perfect example of people that think that doing this is easy. Like, that is exhausting.
And I've been managing myself
to
for
you.
3 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and managing myself. So imagine the emails and all of that stuff too.
Yeah, figuring out how to monetize too, being the business person and the creative and the person that figures out all the platforms, and like,
you have to love it.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, you have to be a workaholic too.
Yeah.
My assistant's always like, oh, your poor boyfriend. And I'm like, you're a bitch, but yeah, low-key, my poor boyfriend. He literally does, I wouldn't remember to eat without him. He's the best. But yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you though. You've done so much, and I just know for a fact, and you do too, that you're going to keep blowing up. So I'm excited to watch your journey.
No, the way I walked into this house and I was like, yep, this is about right. I was like manifesting. I was like, this looks just about right.
And I love that.
And the biggest compliment possible, because I was like, wow, she's killing it.
I love hearing that, because that's how I was. And that's why I feel like I got stuff, because you have to be happy for other people's successes, because then you're also like, you're allowing it for them, but you're also allowing it for yourself when you celebrate people.
And the woo-woo words, like, you're raising your vibration to match their frequency.
Yeah.
So then when you're vibrating at the frequency of what you want, it is going to attract to you.
Yeah.
And in the normal people words, it's like, even if you don't believe that, it's like, when you are happy for other people, you inevitably become more motivated within yourself to work towards those things as well.
True.
And I am so happy for you.
Oh, vice versa.
Seriously.
No, I'm like so happy you're here, because for people's backstory, she came into my office. I met her for the first time, and just right away when you started talking and like you told me about your podcast, it's in your bed. I was like, mine's in my bed. I was like thinking all these things, and I was like, you would be so perfect to have on. And I feel like this was such a good conversation.
Thank you so
and
much
we're
for
very
having
similar into how we think, which I love. So yeah, it was just a really good episode.
I put on my vision board this year, I want to be surrounded by women who I look up to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've had a lack of that in my experiences, and now that I feel like more certain of myself and who I am, I feel like I'm becoming the person who is capable of being around people who are like really doing amazing things. And I really want that. So I'm really honored to be here. So, I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. As always, I read all your comments and reply to all of you. It makes me feel so good to see what you guys think and feel about the episode. You guys are the reason I keep coming back every week. So let me know what parts you like the best, and I'll see you next Tuesday.